Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Um, this is the Duke speaking. Yeah, so I've had a lot of questions from a lot of you. Can I drink a bit of the tea? Thank you. Well, it's cold. Anyway, I've had a lot of questions from many of you on why I decided to write a book. I wrote this book, one, because only I know my story. You have heard of the thing that you must blow your own trumpet. Most people do not know why. There are two reasons for blowing your own trumpet. One, you're the only one who knows the notes. Nobody else does. Two, everybody else is busy blowing theirs, so yours will never get blown. So I thought that there is no better person to write my history than myself because I know it best. So that is one of the reasons. The other reason is I think some of the things that I've gone through in life are a good lesson to many of us that whatever you try to do, you fail, you succeed, it's part of life. I have done many things in which I have failed, but they have not put me down. I have done many things which I have succeeded, but they have not made me conceited to think that I'm God's gift to humanity. Maybe that's why I'm not a politician, because I think to be a politician, you need to think you're God's gift to humanity, which I am not. And none of us is, I can assure you. Anyway, I thought that, I felt rather that putting my story into print is a way of dispersing the knowledge that I've gathered over life. That certain things that you do affect people in very many different ways. It's unfortunate that some are negative, others are positive, which you maybe it was not your intention, but it's life. That things happen, life happens, regardless of what you intend to do. But that should not stop one from doing that which they feel they want to do. Because, you need to leave some footsteps so that one day, when you're no longer here, because we all die eventually, those who come after you, those who come after you will be able to say somebody so and so passed through here, because you have left some footmarks in the annals of history. Thirdly, I've been very open in sharing my journey with cancer, where we talk about being a warrior, which really is not the thing. Fighting a disease is a misnomer, because you're not fighting. You can't fight that which you can see. Something is eating you, and you do things that you have been recommended with the hope that they will, roll it back. So my work with cancer really is something that has made me very strong, in the sense that I realized that, one, I have very many friends. Because when things went south, when I had no insurance cover, I had no money, but I needed to go for treatment, many of my friends, my former schoolmates, my neighbors, where I live now in Garden Estate, school meaning University, Alliance, primary school, Lune Primary School, and my family, and many other friends that I made along the way. Because I like to make friends. I think it is important. Enemies come by themselves, but you actually go out there and make friends. So a lot of my friends met in many ways, where I've worked, where I've done business, came to my rescue. And I realized, well, for so many friends to come up and help me, there must be something good about me. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but there must be something good about me. And so I thought also, by writing the book, I would encourage people to know that the community that you live in are really your brothers and sisters. That you can't go back to your roots to look for help. Where you belong, where you are now, is where you belong, and is where your help in times of need will come through. As long as you're also there for other people when they need help. That these things are two-way. You help me, I'll help you. So the third thing is that I learned that if you set your goals realistically, you'll always kind of get there. One of the jokes that I tell one of my friends is that, when we were in the university, we had a 40% mark. And that is very low, really, but, it's a pass. So if you set goals and you're doing a 40% or anything above 40% is success. And that gives you the motivation to go into the next, whatever it is, the next goal. With the knowledge that you generally succeed in what you do. So my book is to tell you that whatever you do, as long as you've set realistic goals, you will succeed. And that gives you the motivation to meet the next challenge, and so on and so forth. But the other thing was that I had to study about health because of the challenges that I had. And I think I've talked a lot about intermittent fasting and things like those. Like right now, today I'm doing what we call OMAD, 1 meal a day. So I'm doing fasting of 24 hours. I've got another hour to go before I take my meal, around 24 hours ago. And that clears a lot of the taka in the body. The system actually cleans itself. By the way, one of the things that you can be sure of is your cells were made to be self-sufficient. But because of the way we live, we've kind of compromised that. So if you fast, then you give them the space and the conditions for them to rejuvenate and get back to what they're supposed to be doing and become very efficient. So they will be able to fight diseases. When you eat, you get the full advantage of the vitamins and proteins and whatever it is that is in that food. They do that which they're supposed to do. So my book is a kind of an all-encompassing lesson that there are so many ways that you can make your life better. So those who have not bought the book, I've only got a few more copies left of the first print. I'm now going into the second print, which should be out in about 3 to 4 weeks. So if you haven't bought the book, you can still go ahead and buy it. You will probably you might get the copies that I have left, or you will get the next print. But I can assure you there's a lot to learn from this information that I've put in that book, because I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of consultations just to make sure that the information I put there is more or less accurate. Of course, I'm not 100%. As I said, a 40% mark is good enough. Or don't you think so? Have a good day, you all.